This is the Unit 4 History exam. Number 1. Which of the following was a major responsibility of women in ancient Athens? A. The education of young men. B. The development of business. C. The formation of public policy. D. The management of the household. Number 2. What occurred as a result of the empire shown on the map above? A. The expansion of monotheism. B. The establishment of representative democracy. C. Decreased importance of the Silk Roads. D. The spread of Greek language and culture. Number 3. What was an important consequence of the Persian Wars? A. The Greeks lost many colonies in Anatolia to Persia, which damaged the Greek economy. B. Sparta ruled its newly acquired empire, demanding loyalty and payments from other Greek city-states. C. Many Greek city-states united to form a defensive league, which was predominantly controlled by Athens. D. Greek city-states defeated Darius's forces and conquered the entirety of lands in the Persian Empire. Number 4. The city-states of ancient Greece spread Greek culture to areas around the Mediterranean Sea by A. Conquering India. B. Establishing colonies. C. Uniting with Egypt. D. Building roads for armies. Number 5. Which statement explains the list above? A. Some city-states of ancient Greece went from being governed by their citizens to being ruled by a king. B. Some city-states of ancient Greece went from being ruled by a few wealthy nobles to being governed by their citizens. C. Some city-states of ancient Greece went from being ruled by military leaders to being governed by the upper class. Or D. Some city-states of ancient Greece went from being ruled by rich merchants to being governed by men of nobility. Number 6. How was being a citizen of Sparta different from being a citizen of Athens? A. Spartans were expected to honor their city through creative, artistic expression. B. Spartans were expected to be educated so they could participate in the government. C. Spartans were expected to display the riches of Greece through grand homes and feasts. D. Spartans were expected to protect their city through military service and physical strength. Number 7. Which of the following best explains why Athens was considered to be a direct democracy? A. The Athenians elected political leaders to represent them, make laws, and govern on their behalf. B. Athenian citizens participated in assembly meetings where they voted on laws and decrees. C. Athenian leaders believed that all people were subject to the law and that laws must be fairly enforced. D. Jurors were paid for their service in Athenian courts and were required to serve under oath. The passage in this box says, at the end of 411 BCE, The rebuilt Athenian navy acted to restore democratic rule. However, the democratic leaders refused Spartan peace offerings, and the war continued at sea, with the Spartan and Athenian fleets trading costly victories. The end came in 405 BCE, when the Athenian navy was destroyed by the Spartan fleet, under Lysander, who had received much aid from the Persians. The next year, starved by an impenetrable, impossible to pass blockade, Athens surrendered. Question 8. Which of the following best describes the outcome of the event referenced in the passage? A. Sparta's victory spurred increased participation in Greek democracy. B. This war led to widespread starvation and disease in Sparta and Thebes. C. Athens' defeat ended the Greek Golden Age of political development. Or D. The Athenians allowed women and slaves to vote in political elections. Number 9. Which of the following best represents the location of Sparta? A. Number 1. B. Number 2. C. Number 3. Or D. Number 4. Number 10. How did rule of law affect government officials and institutions in Greece? A. It required government officials and institutions to follow established laws. B. It encouraged government officials and institutions to veto unjust laws. C. It prevented government officials and institutions from creating new laws. Or D. It established separate laws granting privileges to officials and institutions. This is the written response. Directions. Study the source below, then answer the question that follows. Excerpt from Pericles' funeral oration. Our Constitution does not copy the laws of neighboring states. Its administration favors the many instead of the few. This is why it is called a democracy. If we look to the laws, they afford equal justice to all in their private differences. The freedom which we enjoy in our government extends also to our ordinary life. But all this ease in our private relations does not make us lawless as citizens. Against this fear is our chief safeguard, teaching us to obey the magistrates and the law. Further, we provide plenty of means for the mind to refresh itself from business. We celebrate games and sacrifices all the year round, and the elegance of our private establishments forms a daily source of pleasure, while the magnitude of our city draws the produce of the world into our harbor, so that to the Athenian, the fruits of other countries are as familiar a luxury as those of his own. Nor are these the only points in which our city is worthy of admiration. We cultivate refinement and knowledge. Wealth we employ more for use than for show. Our public men have, besides politics, their private affairs to attend to, and our ordinary citizens, though occupied with the pursuits of industry, are still fair judges of public matters. In generosity we are equally singular, acquiring our friends by conferring, not by receiving favors. We have forced every sea and land to be the highway of our daring, and everywhere, whether for good or for evil, have left imperishable monuments behind us. Such is the Athens for which these men nobly fought and died. And well may every one of their survivors be ready to suffer in her cause. Indeed, if I have dwelt at some length upon the character of our country, It has been to show that our stake in the struggle is not the same as theirs who have no such blessings to lose. Page 7. Choose one of the following prompts. Circle which one you are answering. Use prior knowledge and evidence from the sources to support your response. Write at least 6 sentences, 10 points. What caused the Peloponnesian Wars? Or, what was the purpose of Pericles' funeral oration speech? Use prior knowledge and evidence from the excerpt to support your response.